What's happening, people? Not for the radio, NFTR. Make sure you subscribe now. You know what it is. Myself, Dwayne Jones. The way you're ready is killing me. Myself, Dwayne Jones.
Posty, we're here with Harvey, the legendary Harvey. How you doing? Welcome.
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
What's happening, bro?
Sam's in here, sorry.
Well, no, it's good. It's all love. I love Shams to bits. It's all good. You lot took your time, innit? But it's all good.
Yeah, you know how it is.
I know, you've been ready for this one. I bumped into you a couple times.
Yeah. We've talked on WhatsApp, haven't we,
We
Posty?
spoke about some things,
Yeah.
you know, we had to get you down here.
I remember I've been living overseas, so we've been that WhatsApp's expensive.
Oh, yeah. It's true, you didn't come down here just for this.
Yeah, I did.
So, yeah, how much did you get from Big Brother then?
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. The family's good. That's what you need to know.
No, I
They're good.
played. Yeah, no, glad you came, man.
Mm-hmm.
So what's good? What's happening?
Life's good.
Yeah.
I'm out in Madrid at the moment, shooting a film. So that's me at the moment, just taking a bit of time out from music. Obviously, just finished the solo concert at the O2, which you was at, which was
show.
good. Yeah, which was good. So that's me right now. But yeah, I'm just taking a bit of time out at the moment and focusing on my trade at the moment, which is acting. So I'm shooting a big one at the moment.
Oh, you're acting in a film?
Yeah, it's a universal production.
What would you say you're best at? Because you've done quite a lot. Would you say you're a better actor, a better musician, presenter? You've even done presenting back in the day. What would you say?
Definitely not a better actor because I'm still learning my trade. I've only been acting the last 6 years, so I'm fairly new to that. But I don't really put myself in a bracket. I don't box myself off. Harvey ain't just about music. You know, when people start to understand my career properly and me as a person, it's not just music, fam. My life's a bigger picture than just music. You know me hitting your screens for music. That was my impact. But it's bigger than that.
So what is it? What is it then?
I'm a brand, fam.
Yeah?
I'm a brand. And when I say I'm a brand, is that...
So what are your brand known for? Like, what would you say?
People know that I do everything. People, like, you could put me in brackets. There's man that'd be watching this right now that would know me from playing professional football. Then there's people that would know me from presenting T4. And then if you're talking about, you know, the core of Harvey's career, you're going to know me from being in So Solid. So which bracket do you want to put me in? I can't even bracket myself, so I'm a person that I do what makes me happy and I do what I enjoy. And I've never, ever said I'm an out-and-out musician from day one. That simple.
So what, you say you play professional football.
Mm-hmm.
How professional is professional?
Well, from the age of 11 to 15, I was at Chelsea as a schoolboy. We had a great team, youth team at the time, people like Jody Morris, who went on to be a great professional. Other legends that you know, John Terry was a year younger than me. Loads of decent footballers, and then after that I went on to play for Barnet where I done my apprenticeship. So a lot of man would know me way before music, before football. That's why I've got relationships with people like Rio and all them people because they know me from ball.
So you've been getting money your whole life.
Since
You've
11.
been playing professional football since 11.
Yeah, since 11. They used to pay my mum. When I was at Chelsea, they used to pay my mum weekly, like living expense, just to keep me at the
So
club.
what happened then? Why do you think you never made Premiership?
Because I wasn't good enough. It's that simple. When I got to Barnet and I looked at people like, say for instance, like Rio that was playing first team at West Ham at 17, Jody Morris playing Chelsea first team at 17, Clinton Morrison, they was exceptional in that field. And I was a player, the highest I played was League Two. And sometimes you just got to admit that you're not the best at this job. And they was exceptional talent. Morrison was exceptional as a kid. Rio, do I need to talk about Rio?
So what are you the best at? You said you're not the best at football. What are you the best at? Out of all the things, without putting yourself in the box, which you strongly do not want to do or you clearly don't want to do, what are you the best at? Would you say a best musician, actor, what?
I'm the best businessman and entrepreneur, my brother. I've been in this business 23 years this year and still surviving and still being relevant.
That's crazy. I just turned 23.
That's crazy. You wish you did. You wish you did. If you just turned 23, cocoa butter works wonders.
No, I'm playing.
Legend.
So tell me about, all right, cool. So
He's a legend, this guy. He's a legend.
So you finished football. Tell us how you met Mega, or who did you meet that put you in So Solid? How did that come about?
Well, you got to understand, I've known some of these guys since the age of 5 to 10 years old. Romeo, Swiss, Mega, Mac, G-Man. We are the ones that are actually from Battersea in terms of the artists, not including DJs like PDS and Dan the Man. We've all come from the same area. We lived on different estates, but we've all known of each other. So them lot knew I was a football guy from young. Do you know what I mean? At the time, Mega was actually in a boy band with Shabs and Seth. He was like the R&B guy. Like, Mega's a very talented guy. You know, Swiss has always been talented.
So
from
what?
a
When
kid.
you say R&B guy, what you're saying?
He was
Mega
like-
used to sing and that?
Yes, Mega used to sing. If you listen to Oh No, he's doing the harmonies underneath Lisa. So
Okay.
Mega's always been a talented guy when it comes to music. And yes, he was in an R&B group. I'm talking full choreography, Shabs, Seth. And look at them. Shabs is a legendary producer. Seth was a great singer. And Mega's the founder of So Solid. So what does that tell you about that talent that came out of that area?
Something in the water, man.
There's your answers. You can't just sit down. If you listen to a lot of Mega Man's lyrics, they're very melodic. They're not out and out rap lyrics. If you listen to them, it's just a little things. Oh, see, they, z. They're all melody driven. So you can see a lot of our lyrics was kind of the product of who we were as people and the environment that we came from. So I met them man there probably. Romeo I've known probably since about 7 years old. Mega and Swiss from about 10. And then I was playing football. When I broke my ankle at, when I was at Slough Town at the time. I got sent on loan from Barnet. And I remember I got back to Batsy and I had this Mega Man and Romeo phenomenon. As you know this, he was in the ends. And I was like, this is crazy. I mean, they were stars in the hood. It was ridiculous. You know, I'm hearing that these lot are getting chased down the road outside Foot Locker in Clapham Junction. And these men can't move. And every time they're on national radio, pirate radio, they're shutting down the airwaves. Like phones are jamming. I'm thinking, this is like Mega and Romeo that I've known from kids. What are they doing? And then when I got back, I realised the impact. It was crazy. Supreme on a Sunday, I think the whole of South London was looking into them too, you know. And I always MC'd because I come from a reggae background. And I don't know if you know a reggae artist called Papa San. Well, he's my auntie's baby father. So I grew up on a lot of reggae artists. Every Sunday, me and my dad used to sit in the front room and just freestyle over ragga beats. And everyone knew that I could do it, but they never looked at me as being an artist because Harvey just loves football, you know? And then when they found out, me and Romeo started MCing locally in Wandsworth in the Lytton Tree. Remember the Lytton Tree pubs, the chain? Yeah? And I remember Romeo used to pay me out of his wages. He used to give me like a little 20 quid and that, you know what I mean? And he used to go, like, you're a lyricist. And then by that time, I think it kind of travelled around to the boys to Mega. And one night I was on Kumbala Estate. And I never forget this, I was on Kumbala. You know me, I was phoning the ting. Remember them BT phone boxes? When you put in your little £1 and the money don't last long? I remember we didn't have mobiles then. So I'm phoning my link. And as I'm phoning my link, it's late at night, I've just seen these white eyes looking through the phone box. And it was Mega with his eyes. Yo, because that's his estate. Kumbala's him and Swiss's estate and Keish.
Yeah.
He said, yo, fam, I heard that you spit and tear and you know what Mega's like, innit? Like, he's just a businessman. He said, yeah, come, I'm going to bring you down to Supreme. Come by the station and we're going to give you a little tryout. You know what I mean? So I said, yeah, say nothing. And literally the next day, he picked me up. He picked me up on Clapham Junction, drove me to Supreme, which was in Clapham, Patrick G and the man. And the first person that I seen when I walked in that building was this skinny kid with a big Averex, dodgy blonde hair. Who's that?
Neutrino.
Yeah.
And this other skinny kid with like his hair like waxed, DJing, Oxide Neutrino. And that's the first people that I ever seen when I walked in that room. And Mega and Romeo done their set, and Mega said to me, I'm going to give you like the last 10 minutes to try you out. And I had this one Kung Fu lyric. Remember that lyric there, Swiss? The Kung Fu. Yeah. You remember them, innit? So Mega and Romeo had this Kung Fu combination. I had my one, the Jackie Chan one. And Mega said, yeah, drop that lyric there, that's the one. And I dropped this lyric. And I remember Neutrino and Oxide left the radio station. And when they heard me drop this lyric, the phone line just started going mad. And then Neutrino and Oxide drove back and he was like, right, who's this brother? And then Mega said, yeah, you know, we're starting this group. And like, we want you to come on board. And at the time, I just thought it was a joke. I'll be straight with you. I come from playing football. My career was already cool. I was still earning £600 a week from playing semi-pro football. So when I was doing the music, I probably wasn't taking it as serious as these guys were, as Mega and Romeo, as Swiss was, because I was adamant that I'm going to play football for the rest of my life. Famous last words, innit?
You and Romeo were kind of like the Ryu and Ken for the girls at the time. It was either like girls like Romeo or they like Harvey. Who was really putting down numbers on the board at the time? Who's putting the numbers on the board, man?
I love you, Posty.
You lot must have had you must have had like a little notepad.
There's no notepads.
But who was killing it though?
I'm not going to bait up a next man's thing because that's my brother. But see, Romeo, as a youngster, he was more of a gentleman than me.
Okay.
I come from a football background.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about numbers on boards and girls, I was that guy. And not to the fact, Romeo just didn't present himself like that. Like I said, I come from a football background where it was play hard 5 days a week, Saturday night, out with the lads, girls.
Yeah.
So I already had that in me. Romeo's more of a gentleman. Gospel truth. His name doesn't highlight the person that he is. He's a gentleman.
You can tell that from Big Brother. He's a
gentleman.
Yeah,
like Romeo treats women like amazing. Like I look at him like, you are the guy.
Whereas you didn't.
That's harsh.
No, that's a question. That's not a statement.
No, that's ridiculous because I love women. Women are they're beautiful
time,
species. No, I was just a young boy, and the thing is, what makes me laugh, people kind of put me out like I'm special. What young man at 19, I would say 19, would not be out there getting girls unless you're not that way inclined. And
then
you met Elisa Dixon.
Yeah.
What happened there, man?
Well,
how did you meet her?
Okay, shall we start on that? I met her at first time I initially met her, I remember we had 21 seconds and oh no, it was on White Label. And I went home to my mum's and we were just getting big. And I opened the magazine and I just seen a profile of Mystique. And I was like, wow. And all I said to myself is, I'm going to have that girl.
I said the same thing.
I know, a lot of men did, but whether they're going to do it or not, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that, when I want something, I'm going to get it. It's that simple. So what I done, me, Mega, Romeo, Swiss, load of us got invited to a Dream Team party. Remember that, Swiss? A big Dream Team party. And she was in there. And I kind of went in there, tried to do the rude boy approach, and she absolutely shut me down.
Wow.
She was outside with a girl called Debbie Coda. Remember Debbie? Who's legendary. She was in Debbie's car. And I tried to do the bad boy thing, yeah. And she just wound the window up in my face, like, you know, like when your lips get caught, like, and drove off. So I was like, that approach didn't work. She's a very smart girl.
Yeah.
4 days later, Mega rang me up and said, yo, we got a little link at a club called Zen Gardens, which is now the Funky Wood, if I'm right. So me, Mega and Romeo went Zen Gardens, and I'll never forget the night we thought it was the men. Mega had on his bowler hat. Romeo wore a cream one. I just put in the Jerry Curl, because I was the Jerry Curl guy. And I walked in the club and she was in there with one of her friends. And that night I thought, you know what? I'm going to show this girl the real Harvey. Lose all the ego, take the street element away. And then from that day, me and her, we just fell in love. It was that simple.
Okay, so you actually built your relationship firstly.
Yeah, we built it. And then I remember she came, I rated her because she lived in Hertfordshire. And she I invited her to come to the hood. And she come with one of her brethren and I showed her the wild side. You know what I mean? Took her to a few bars in Clapham, took her Junction, and she loved it. And what I respected about her first was that she embraced where I'm from. How can you be with a woman that don't understand where you come from? Do you know what I mean? So it was love at first sight. That was like the first love of my life.
So you fell in love, you got married, yeah?
Yeah, we got married after 6 years.
Okay. And so what went wrong?
I would say, being honest, on my side, and me and Alicia was both very successful. We both went platinum a week apart. And I think what it is, our house became very divided. She was away a lot in America. I was at home. Being a young man, there's a thing called temptation. Why are you looking at that post?
So when
I don't know what that is, cuz shout out to my girl.
Does the viewer not know what temptation is? Remember, and obviously...
What was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak? So, because I heard a story that you got caught cheating in your home. Is that
first
true?
of all, I want to know how you...
No, let's stop right there, because I'm going to address it. Let me speak.
Let him speak.
That's a load of bollocks. That I got caught cheating in my home is a load of bollocks. That's a newspaper story. That was a story that was driven to sell papers and to make me look like a bad guy. So that story right there is a load of bullshit. When I cheated on Alicia, I told her to her face. And she found out through Javeen's partner, KG, the producer, who went to the papers. He found out and he rang Alicia and told her. So by the time I drove home to my house, she kind of knew something was going on.
Why did he tell her? Sorry.
God knows. To me, men don't do them type of things. But on his behalf, it was a bitch move. That simple. But anyway, at the same time, you can't condone cheating. Cheating's cheating.
So when you spoke to him, what was his reasons?
I didn't speak to him. There's no speaking between me and this guy. He knows what time it is with me and him.
Yeah,
so you told Alicia to her face.
Yeah.
What did you tell her?
Well, basically,
what were the words?
Basically, I came home. We had our big house in Hertfordshire, and I'll never forget it. We was watching telly, but I knew that something wasn't right, and I knew, in a way, I knew she knew, but you don't accept the truth. You know what I mean? And then she just said to me, "How long's it been going on?"
Why didn't you lie though, man?
No, you can't, because I know, like, well, I'm not going to sit here and promote telling people to lie, because I've been banged to rights, number one, and not just that, my heart was split from my home, and that's my wife. And she's not, as you know, Alicia Dixon is not a stupid woman. I'm not going to sit here and try and belittle her. She's a very intelligent girl. So when you get caught out sometimes with your pants down, and the respect that I got for her, I just had to tell the truth.
Do you feel like if that situation hadn't have occurred with the person that made your situation bait,
Yeah.
do you feel like you would still be with Alicia for years to come?
No, I don't, because you can't live in the past. And if you're asking me to regret that situation, then I'm regretting my daughter. And I'm never going to do that. Because out of that affair, even though it was negative and people had their personal opinion on it, I've got a beautiful daughter out of it with that woman. And my daughter is bigger than any woman. So if I regret what happened with me and Alicia, that means I regret my daughter's existence. That is ridiculous. Like, my daughter's the best thing that ever happened to my life. So I'm sorry, my brother. It happened. I apologise for cheating, because it's not a good thing. But do I regret it? How can I regret it now? Because when I look at my child's eyes, I'm like, wow, amazing.
But one thing I would say, so basically when you had split up,
Yeah.
her career started to really take off.
Sure did.
I mean, how was you feeling at the time when you just saw her making mad checks, like just crazy checks, but you was in a relationship before?
Low.
How did you feel?
Low. Because she was growing. We was when we was together, we was both flying. You know, we was the couple that everyone was talking about. No one really seemed like an iconic black couple that they could look up to.
You was the English Jay and Beyonce.
Real talk.
Yeah,
People, even rappers were rapping about it in their lyrics. But what was mad for me was that obviously you realise when you're young, you don't realise your mistake till kind of after it's happened. And what was hard for me was the way that I went from hero to villain in 24 hours. It was crazy. I lost sponsorship with a big car sponsor at the time, big manufacturer. I lost a lot of work. A lot of TV companies wouldn't touch me. So it was kind of seeing her be successful, because she's a very talented girl, but out of pain. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously everyone was like, we feel sorry for her. So they're going to give her that platform. And then he's the bad guy.
You felt like Chris Brown.
Yeah,
I did.
To be fair, I remember
I'm
it's so weird. I think like the way the media portrayed it, even boys started not to like you.
It was weird.
And it's weird because you're doing exactly the same thing that a lot of people
have done. Yeah.
What boys? I don't really think.
No.
You know better than anyone else.
I wouldn't say boys, because a lot of the backlash was from women. But you know what it is? It's like a man would walk up to you and he does not know me and walk up to me in the street and go, how can you cheat on Alicia? But then I'll be like, do you know what a woman's like behind closed doors?
Yeah, because they rate Alicia.
Yeah, because
they're like,
that's what I mean. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that," or whatever. You know what I mean?
Of course, they're gonna say that.
Yeah.
But the fact is, why this country is so fickle? Not the country, the world, I should say, is that people think that everything's just judged on beauty. You could be a handsome guy or a beautiful woman, but be a horrible person.
Are you saying she was a horrible person?
I'm not saying she's a horrible person. No way. But remember, I know Alicia better than anyone. Better than anyone. You lot watch her on a TV show and judge her.
I feel
from
like
that.
you're saying there's some things about
There
her
was breakdowns in the home.
Okay.
Come on, you don't just split up and go wandering for no reason.
So
But
you're saying because what happened to make you wonder?
I'm never ever gonna make excuse for wandering, because when you wonder and you fully know what you're doing. I'm never gonna justify that. No way. But there was a breakdown in the home, and I probably would say that the house became divided because we were spending so much time apart. She was in America at the time. Mystique was trying to blow in America. So solid, we was killing it at the time. You know, Mobos, Brits, and it was just crazy. And we were spending more time apart than together. And it just became evident. You know, I was in a 4-bedroom house by myself.
Sorry, when we do move on to Javine, just a question: was Javine the first person that you actually cheated on Alicia with?
Oh, most definitely.
Really? So all those tours, you're going across all.
Hey, I was a good boy. I was a good boy.
That's dedication.
Just before because remember,
been throwing
no,
it
what you
down.
got to understand too. I'm in a high profile relationship. Girls are looking to take me out.
Yeah.
Like you have to box clever in this game.
Yeah.
So even when I got with Alicia, I knew how my profile raised, because I was like, girls are trying to fuck me.
You experience girls trying to do the kiss and tell thing.
Oh, come on. I remember one time, I remember the day I went away on my stag, and the News of the World paid. I went away with a lot of footballers, famous footballers, and it was my stag do. And then I got a phone call from my agent going, the News of the World have paid girls to stitch you up. Okay, let me rephrase that. the newspapers have paid girls to stitch you up. And they paid girls a lot of money to fly over to IB for where my stag was to basically try and sleep with me and obviously get a story on me kind of cheating just before I get
What
married.
is your relationship with the papers before, as Posey said, we move on to Javine? Like, what's your relationship with the papers? Because you've had a few stories in the papers as well. So have you sold stories to the papers ever for money?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
But you've spoken to the papers before?
Never. I've had interviews in the papers.
But none of them
ever. And they've played... Remember, the papers are powerful. They're very powerful. I've dealt with newspapers at a level that no one will ever deal with in this game.
So have you been paid to be in the papers? Have they paid you for interviews?
I've been paid to do photo shoots.
Okay.
But have I been paid to talk about women? Are you crazy? Are you mad?
But you have spoken about women in papers, though.
They've asked me questions. They've asked me questions, but that's not the forefront of my career. But you got to understand, when you're going to the devil and you're playing with the devil...
Do you regret any of
you
those
have to be
interviews?
careful. No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't. Well, because remember, you got to understand, Harvey was the guy that no matter what I said, they're going to put me in the backlash anyway.
Yeah.
So even if I said that, you know, the sky is blue, they're going to say that it's red. Do you know what I mean? The papers hate me. They hate me. For what reason, I do not know. Because, all right, there's having an affair, but then banging on for it for 10 years is like I killed someone. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to give you a prime example. The last 4 years, apart from Ashley Waters, yeah, I've shot films that people dream of. I shot The Deadly Game in 2012. Gabriel Byrne, Rufus Sewell, James Frame, all big Hollywood actors. I'm in the top 7 actors of that film. My agent said, we're doing a big press launch. This is groundbreaking what he's done. The newspapers rang my agent back and said, we don't care how good he's doing in his career, we just want to know who he's sleeping with.
Wow.
So no matter what I do, what excellence I deliver, they're not going to promote. If you go on Google and Google my name, you definitely know there's some form of conspiracy going on. Because you will never find...
Do you care, though? Do you care?
Of course
because
I care. Do you know I care? Shall I tell you why?
Would you say, just playing devil's advocate, that all of that stuff has made you who you are as well?
Definitely.
Kind of.
Definitely.
You know, yeah. So do you actually care? Because it comes with the job, so to speak.
I agree with you, Viz. But do you know why I do care? It's called having a daughter. My daughter's 7 now, she can read. Yeah? And what's confusing is that you're looking at...
What does your daughter know? What's the worst thing that you say that your daughter knows now that
quite weird
affects you?
This is quite weird that you said that. It's very weird, very weird. I've protected my daughter from anything to do with my career. You know, I didn't even want her to show her 21 seconds till her school teacher and her headmaster told her that your dad's a legend. I keep that well away from her. I wanted to be her own person. I was bathing my daughter the other day and she turned around and said to me, she said, Dad, was you married to Alicia Dixon? My daughter. I went, wow. I went, why would you ask me that, sweetheart? She went, because I watch Britain's Got Talent, Dad, and I like it.
Oh, wow.
So my daughter's so intelligent that she's picked it up. However she's learned it from her own household, that was your dad's.
So what did you say?
I said to her, yes, my darling, yeah, I was. And she said, why? She said, obviously, like, kind of in a way, what happened? And I had to explain to my daughter that in life, sometimes you're in relationships. Because remember, this is a kid you're talking to.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't work out. But I had to say to her, you don't need to worry about that, sweetheart, because that's never going to happen to you.
So do you speak to Alicia?
The last time I seen Alicia was 2 years ago at at a funeral. At a friend that we share's funeral. And it was... I just came out of Big Brother. And it was so respectful.
How did you actually meet her?
Remember, obviously, I'd done a musical called Daddy Cool. And basically, we shared... Our dressing rooms was next door to each other. And we built up a close relationship. And gospel truth, it was actually just a genuine friendship. I looked at her like, this girl's just cool, like a sister. And it just became too close to the point I was like, she's cool, I like her. But you never think it's going to go anywhere. But then obviously when something's missing at your household...
So you pull it on her?
I wouldn't even say that. I put it on her. I say that it naturally happened.
It never naturally happens. It wasn't even like a...
Don't try that, Posty.
It wasn't like a...
Okay, wait, let me break it.
Did you pull it on her? Did you say... Did you text her?
Sorry. Now you're talking about in terms of that move, that you're talking about that flirtatious or sexual move.
I'm talking about that move and
talking
then...
about the Harvey move.
The finishing move as well.
I'll probably say it takes 2 to tango, but yeah, I'll probably say I was probably the most dominant because I'm a very sexual guy. So do you know what? I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I probably dictated it. I mainly do when it comes to women, because that's just my character. Not every man's like that. Some man let the woman come onto them. You know how it goes. We're all different. But maybe I did.
So you were friends. Your relationship elevated to something that was a little bit more physical.
Yeah.
When you realised that you liked her, because at home everything wasn't good at home or whatever. How did it get to the point where? How long was you seeing her before her boyfriend found out about?
Oh, it was only weeks. It was that quick.
Literally.
Oh, it was quick. You see,
Wow.
man, if anyone that knows me and that's watching this, yeah, people can have their perceptions of me and say what they want to say. Anyone that knows me, my family, my friends, people know that I am not comfortable with skullduggery and doing all this undercover stuff. It don't sit well with me. I don't like being undercover. You know me, Poster, you know me, Viz, I'm a very black and white guy. So even when it was going on, I didn't like this affair situation. So in a way, when it came out, even though my mum said to me, there's going to be a serious backlash of this because you're a known guy, I was just happy that it was out there because I wasn't happy as a person. So if you know me as a real person, I don't play that undercover game.
So
I don't enjoy it.
How did he find out?
I think it was, my car was parked outside their house. But do you know what was mad? The day that my car was parked outside the house, I'd never even have slept with her. That's what's actually weird about that situation. But he tried to put the 2 and 2 together. I actually slept with her after.
Okay.
So he just started a rumour. So at that time, technically, I've never even touched this girl. Because, every night after we finished the musical, I'd go to her house, just chill. You know what it is, innit? Have a drink. It was that kind of thing. But at that time, when he actually seen my car outside her house, nothing ever happened. And that is the gospel truth. That's on my daughter's life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a couple of weeks, and basically it was so after everyone had discovered that you were seeing her at the time.
Yeah.
What happened? Did you continue your relationship with her, or was your relationship with her ceased and then she went back
I walked out my marital home.
Yeah.
I moved in with her.
Oh, you moved in with Davina. Okay.
I as much as I felt so terrible, obviously, for what I've done, because I've caused this. Listen, I've caused it. When it comes to cheating, I'm going to reiterate this. There's no good way out of cheating. If I sat here and tried to justify it, I'm going to look like a prick. Cheating's cheating. But what was mad was that I've just broke a woman's heart. I've just left my marital home. And I think at the time, maybe with me and Javine, what's kind of deep, it was more lust than love. And I'm going to be real. Do you know what I mean? And then once it got deep and it was so intense, maybe we stayed with each other because we didn't want to kind of leave each other because the public are on us. I'll be real with you. Because you're like, if I leave Alicia, go to Javine and then split up,
it doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And then kind of when we realised the situation that we was in, the reality of it, we was better as friends. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't even be together. Me and Javine's characters don't gel. It just doesn't gel.
It's just nice physically.
It was nice physically. And that's the truth. Because remember, I was a young boy. I'm a 36-year-old man now. Do you know what I mean? So it was just like, wow. And then I realised that at that time, I just needed time to myself. And then in that impact, my daughter was made. Because at the time, me and Javine lived in Germany. We took the musical to Germany. So that was kind of like our outlet. Because at the time, remember, the papers were killing me, executing me. I was on the front of every newspaper. I went from hero to a love rat. I hate that terminology too. Like, that's the worst thing. And then we went and done the musical in Germany. So we kind of had headspace. And then we realised, when I got back home, I realised, me and this girl are not meant to be together. And I think I just needed time out for Harvey. I needed to be single. And then after we split up, after my daughter was 7 years old when we split up, 7 to 8 months.
So how long was you and her together for?
Probably about a year.
Okay, cool.
A year.
Yeah.
And then I realised, you know what, I just need time out for myself. And that's where it all ended.
Did Alicia and Javine ever speak?
I think when it actually happened...
Did it ever kick off?
There was a little kick-off. I remember I could hear Alicia speaking to her on the phone. I could just hear a lot of shouting.
Were they friends?
No, they wasn't friends. And this is what I hate about it. They seen each other at events. You know what events are like, Vids? You may not be close with the person, but we know artists, we know producers, we know production people. Are you right? It was that kind of thing. They was never brethrens, how people put it. But what the paper's done, because they're good at archives, they just took a picture of them where they took a picture at an event. I might see Reg on the red carpet, Harvey Reg, and that's just a picture. But what they done, they took that picture and then put it in with the story. So it looked like it was brethrens. Do you know what I mean? And it looked really, it looked really skullduggerous. Like, Javine, you really, shit on your brethren. You're bona fide. They're not bona fides. They both one comes from Ladbroke Grove and one comes from Hertfordshire. At what point were they brethrens? Nah.
So what kind of conversations were they having?
There was no conversations. I mean, there was one conversation that I think there was, if a woman's being cheated on, she's gonna shout.
Oh, probably
kicked
asking
off.
questions.
Kicked off, and then that was it. Because remember, one thing you gotta say, Alicia's a very classy girl. She's not really gonna do all that beef stuff and all that kind of thing. And Javine, if you know her, she's very quiet. Javine doesn't really say boo to a goose. The way she's portrayed, it baffles me because I'm thinking she don't talk. I think it's the way her face looks.
She looks serious.
She looks serious. You know what I mean? Being older now, I'm like, I can see how people might go, she's a bitch. You know, that kind of thing. Because people are quick to judge. But she's not like that.
Are you guys friends now?
Oh my God, she's the mother of my child, bro.
Yeah, so you get on,
We get on. Let me tell you something right now. My daughter, since the day she was born, has never seen one bit of madness. Because one thing I said is that is not her fault, what we done. That's not her fault. We've got to be professional. Me and Javine, there's no love loss, but we're amicable. For my daughter. As long as my daughter's raised well, and you look after my youth, and I do the same, that is all I care about.
That's good.
But we're not in no wars, as people think.
Yeah.
We're not. I got to see it every week when I pick up my child. Me being in war, how is that benefiting my child? I'm not. Don't put me in that baby father category.
Do you feel like the outcome of the affair being so publicly known affected her career in any way?
Definitely. Because she's known. Remember, girls judge girls quickly. So when you're known as the bitch, it affects you. She's a woman. Women are sensitive. It hurts them. I'm a man. I was like, you know what? Keep throwing these daggers at me. Because you lot can judge my relationships, but you cannot fuck with my work.
So who's a better artist, Alicia or Javine?
I'm not going to answer that.
What's your favourite Javine track?
I'm not going to answer it.
What's your favourite Alicia
I'm not
track?
going to answer none of them questions.
Okay.
And shall I be honest with you? I don't really listen to their music because it's not my type of music.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you listen to Cheryl Cole's music?
It's hard not to listen to it because she's Britain's sweetheart and is on every advert. That'd be lying now, wouldn't it?
Do you think she deserves that title as Britain's sweetheart, knowing her?
Who?
Cheryl.
Cole.
Does she deserve it?
Yeah, I mean, that's her title. Like you said, you didn't deserve the title Love Rat. Does she deserve the title? She's like a national treasure, they call her. And
I don't really care about Cheryl Cole, bro.
The reason we mentioned her is because...
I know why you're mentioning it, but I don't really... I know it's mad, but I'm not even going to give her airtime because she's that irrelevant in my life and she's not the forefront of my life. And I understand what you lot are saying.
Yeah.
But why am I promoting Cheryl Cole? She's a small part of my life. When I look at the long scheme of things in my life, what has she done for my life? So,
do you know what? I'll be honest. I don't even understand the connection. Like, break it down. Like, why are you connected? What's the connection for people that don't know? Because I got a little bit lost.
It's called music, innit? It's called music. And in music, you got to understand we're also human beings. It don't mean that musicians can't be friends. So all I'm going to say about that situation, I'm going to keep it very brief.
So you was friends?
I've known that girl since she was wearing bandanas and combat trousers in Girls Aloud. Do you know what I mean? She's a cool girl. She's cool. But the reason why I'm not going to give this airtime, because it's a small part of my life and they don't deserve it, bro.
Do you get on with Cheryl?
She's a good girl.
You get on with her? You're friends with her?
I ain't seen her for a few years, but she's a good girl.
Okay.
She's a good girl.
Anything ever happened between you two?
I'm not even going to answer that unless you're trying to get me lawsuits out here, B.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
it wasn't
you
a
know.
no.
Don't do, you're just asking.
It wasn't a no.
It wasn't a no.
Nah, let me tell you something right now. I'm going to break it right down now. I'm not a stupid guy. I'm an intelligent man. And at the end of the day, you know.
So if you say anything
this game
happened,
works.
sorry, but if you said anything happened between you and her, that is a lawsuit, is what you're saying.
If we mention anything to do with my name and her name in that way, you're going to have problems tomorrow morning. That's all I'm going to say to you. Problems that you don't need. And I've signed checks that people can't imagine. So I'm not trying to bring that to my two friends.
Speaking of checks that you can't imagine, let's talk about those chilly checks.
Why did you go in Big Brother? For the check?
Why did I do it? Done it for my daughter. Because who am I to turn down that money?
So you did do it for the money, though?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Do you know I rate that so much?
Definitely.
I rate that so much.
What do you expect me to do? Come here, no disrespect, but do you expect me to come in here in front and, you know, keep it real to look good for the people on YouTube that are going to leave their comments and judge me?
We don't expect anything.
I'm just saying, I'm going to keep it 100. Yeah? Who am I to turn down £100,000?
Oh wow! So is that what you got?
Yes, yes.
Posey's like, cha-ching.
For it?
Posey's going in the next one.
next season.
There you go.
Now play.
Okay.
Who am I to turn down
All right.
100 grand? I come from SW11 Battersea. I've worked extremely hard to get to where where I've been to. My daughter has her own future in her life. She's my life.
Yeah.
Who am I to turn down 100 grand?
You just mentioned, you just said that you've signed big checks and whatnot, yeah?
Yeah,
What's the biggest check you've signed?
Well, I've signed a few. Let's put it in categories. So should we deal with music first?
Nah, just what's the biggest one, G?
Well, okay. Music, 250,000.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah. And obviously Mega came on the show. And remember, my deal was kind of amazing because what they
Was
done...
that publishing or record?
That's record deal.
Okay.
That was with Go Beat. Me and Lethal B were signed to Go Beat Universal 30.
Yeah, of course.
30.
Yeah.
And what it was at the time, I got offered a single with the option to that album. You know, because I had good management, Albert and Dave Samuels, as Mega reiterated in his interview. So what I done, I signed 100,000 for one record. I'm a good businessman, my G. And then after that, they took up the option for the album. And then they gave me another 150,000. So it was £250,000 in my bank.
So,
and then, okay, sorry.
No, go on. Finish what you're saying, please.
So,
Please do.
and then, sorry. And
anyway.
And then the publishing deal was Family Music Publishing. That deal was, because it was family music, it was 50,000. And that was all in the space of probably like a week apart. So if you're putting it all in all my publishing, my record deal, £300,000.
Yeah, but then you had a manager, then tax.
Well, you got to be smart because you go into a tax bracket. You've got to give your manager 20%. And obviously you got to leave money for the inland revenue. Because if you don't pay the inland revenue, they'll come knocking at your door.
And you had to recoup.
And you got to recruit. But I'll be honest with you, I remember, see when I hear about these 360 deals, I laugh my head off. Yeah, I laugh my head off. All I'm going to know is that if you're looking how much I walked away with out of that 300,000, I could say probably, after all the things that took away, probably about 190 because of tax and various other things that go to lawyer fees. You've been at them tables, Viz.
Of course.
So so that was just music. And then if you want to talk about T4, where do you want to start?
Let's talk about T4. Where do you want to start?
Okay, so at the time they came for me after I came out of So Solid. I remember this was a risk for Channel 4. You're taking a boy that's got a street image onto national telly. But just because I was charismatic, they took the risk. Big up Joe Wallace and Jamie Valentine.
Was this before or after the
This
whole
was after
scandal?
So Solid. This is before the scandals.
Okay.
But I was with it each time, but I got to respect Joe Wallace and Jamie Valentine because they took a risk.
Yeah, big up Janie Valentine.
You know Jamie Valentine,
yeah.
They took a risk on a kid that, like you said, that came with an image. And at that time, we was in newspapers for guns, everything that came was So Solid. And at the time, Vernon came in to do Boys and Girls, the show. And they gave me a 3-month contract. After like 8 weeks, they ripped that contract, gave me a year. So when I was there, at that time, I was on £10,000 a month, 10 grand a month.
How many months was you on that show for?
I've done a year, 12 months.
12 months.
But I'm going to give you another scenario, and I can't identify a name, so I've done 12 months. It was the highest ratings that they got since Dermot O'Leary and Margarita Taylor, when me and June Sarpong was presenting it. Because T4 never really had a music star in their show. So they wasn't used to like fans turning up at Channel 4 waiting for me. It was kind of like, whoa, he's bringing a different element to presenting. And then I was getting, obviously, that was my flat fee, about 10 grand a month. And then obviously when you got to do VTs, when I was going out interviewing Jackie Chan, when I was interviewing Jennifer Lopez, Halle Berry, that was a good interview. Halle Berry, you get paid.
Why was that a good interview? Hold on.
How good was it?
Come on, Matt Viz, you know the story about that. That's on the internet. But
Actually, don't know the story.
Well, if you look,
Was you with Halle Berry?
No, she put it on me.
What?
Yeah, and
Halle Berry put it on you?
Yeah, well, it's on the net.
So
but
walk on.
I was engaged at the time, and it's the
Okay.
biggest regret of my life. I think that's one of the most beautiful women I've
When
ever
you say
laid
she
my eyes on.
stuck it on you, what do you mean?
Well, I done a. Do you remember there used to be an MTV show where they used to get an artist to interview a famous Hollywood star, and they just pick an artist. It was like a half-an-hour special.
Can't remember
It
now,
was
but-
like I think it was just before the kind of Jasmine Dottie Wilder days of MTV.
Yeah.
And she was promoting Goldeneye
Yeah.
at the time, and I had a half-an-hour special interview with her. But during the interview, the camera broke down. So they had to, at the time they had to go and, order the cameras to get delivered. We've been there, haven't we, Posty?
Yeah. A few times.
We've been there. And so it was like, wow, I'm sitting here with Halle Berry, so what do I do? So, remember like offered her a glass of wine, but I remember the way this woman was looking at me was just crazy. She just split up with Eric Benet. So I was thinking, am I a rebound? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so initially, me and her spent like an hour together. I found out, I didn't even know that she was from Liverpool. Did you know that? She was born in Liverpool.
I had no idea,
Deep.
no.
So I learned a lot about this woman. So I finished the interview and I said to her, that was an amazing interview. Like, thank you. And then she kind of put her hand on me and said, I like you. So I thought, yeah, it was a good interview. I thought she meant she liked the interview. She was like, no, I like you. So I'm thinking, I've had posters of this woman on my wall. Come on, Halle Berry. And then she said, at that time, the golden premiere was that night. And I never forget it. I think I had my engagement ring, because Alicia got me engagement ring. And she said to me, you know, after I finish the premiere, would you like to come to dinner tonight? And I'm thinking, this is Halle Berry. And I remember my tour manager was kind of behind the camera and he looked at me like, what do you do in this situation? And all I remember is saying is, I'm engaged.
Oh, Harvey,
I know, don't be like that.
I'm so disappointed in you. If cheating's ever acceptable, it was that moment.
Bro,
you know what I mean? And then you go back, you say to the wife, listen, it was Halle.
Bro,
you know,
the
black of the berry. You know
I know,
what I'm
it's
saying?
deep, it's deep. And you know what's so mad? I remember she said to me, she went, she's a lucky woman. And I'll never forget, I kicked myself all the way home. Because it's Halle Berry.
You should have. I'm disappointed in you. I don't even want to carry this on.
It's mad. But it was mad. I think
should have jumped off a bridge. Should have done more than kicked yourself.
I remember Dreddy. Do you know JD?
Yeah.
Like, I love JD. He rang me and he said to me, fam, are you mad? You know what Dreddy's like, innit? That's it, Dreddy, man. I'm engaged. What do you want me to do? No! Dreddy wouldn't accept it. He would not accept it. He wouldn't accept it. But I said, what do you want me to do? I'm getting married. You know what I mean? Let's put him... It's all good saying Halle Berry because of the name. But let's put this in perspective.
But the body, though.
I've still got good food at home, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Posty, don't be like that.
I know, but sometimes, you know, you might want some Chinese and Italian at the same time.
You don't
discriminate, you know what I mean?
What would you have done?
What would I have done? Same
relationship?
Same thing, bro.
What?
Same thing.
Thank you. Because you know your wife is watching.
Side man.
Same thing.
I would have thrown it down. 100%. 100%.
He knows that his wife is watching. Yeah, man, I see the sweat coming down his shoulder.
Nah, just same thing, bro.
You're not lying.
Yeah, but you know what, bro? Like I said to you, that was amazing, and that T4, like I said, was an amazing experience. And what was mad about T4? I was getting personal. Remember, that's one-on-one interviews. You know how it goes because you've done them. You're one-on-one with these stars, and you're seeing their real characters. And what I realized was these American women are on it. Like, it was like they was besotted. A lot of American women thought that I was Puerto Rican. So when they hear me talk, they're like, wow, like you're British. So that was already a winner, just my accent.
Yeah, it is weird. You do find that with American women. It's a bit weird.
They're forward. They're forward.
Yeah, it just goes from 0 to 100 real quick, literally.
Very quick.
Like, there's no sense of achievement once you've been there because it was just like, they just took it from you.
Very quick. Quick.
Apart from Halle Berry, any other... you know, big celebrity females try and put it on you?
Yes, but I'm not going to identify because I don't kiss and tell, but I've had a few great experiences with a few American women, yes I have, but I'm not, that's not me, bro. I'm not exposing their names. I'm not looking views. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not looking views, bro. I don't need to say these. I don't need to say these women to make myself look good. It was an experience in my life. I was a young boy.
Yeah.
As you know, there was levels. Romeo was doing videos with Christine Milian, and we was exposed to a lot of. As you know, we was traveling abroad a lot, and we was, no matter what, the impact of So Solid. We was known all around the world. I remember walking in Miami and seeing Bizarre and Proof, R.I.P., and looking across the road from D12, and they went, So Solid. I went, whoa. And then obviously we ended up touring with them because remember we supported Eminem and they became friends. So our impact was so powerful. Like, man like D12 was shouting at me in Miami like, whoa, they know us. So the women was just a bonus. Do you know what I mean? But there's, you know, I've had some great experiences, but I'm not here to like...
Is life as good now? I mean, you spoke about big church, you spoke about women. Is life as good now as it was then?
It's better. Because
you're making more money.
Because I'm experienced.
Okay.
And when you're experienced and you've been through it like any social member has and you get into that iconic legendary status, you don't need to prove yourself no more. So people just judge me on my work. I'm good. What I've done now, I've learned the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
I've already been the front man.
Yeah.
I've done it to the highest level. What can this country offer me, bro? I've won a Brit Award. I've won Mobos. I've sold millions of records with my boys. What? I can never be that Harvey of 2001.
Yeah.
I don't live in the past. So
one thing you do, which is good, I always like you collaborate with a lot of artists. You always pop up with a new artist. Like, what are you gonna do with your music now? Are you taking it seriously? You gonna release projects, or is it just for fun?
I don't care about music, bro. I do music for fun. When I done the Egyptian project in 2010-11, when I sent that to you, I paid for that myself. I sent Egyptian money via Western Union. That real. Yeah, I was counting that cash at a desk at Western Union. I negotiated that deal myself just because me and Egyptians' parents are close from Jamaica. The Cashtastic project, the Sneak Bro project, the Pagey Cakey project, the Sneak Bro project. Yeah, that was just phone calls, you know? Because at the end of the day, they was the new kids on the block that I respected, and at the same time, it's benefiting them because they're working with a legend. But was I looking to get massive sales out of it? Was I looking at it to pay me well? No. Music does nothing for me in this present day and age. It's internet driven. Checks are harder to grasp because the era that we're in. Downloading's rife. So I was in the best days when money was the best. And you know that, Viz. It was the best. Them checks were pure.
So Harvey, you're young, you're light skinned, you're getting money. Like, what's your weakness? Like, what was you spending your money on? If you were spending any money, because of, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. My weakness was probably cars.
Okay, cool.
It was ridiculous. Look, my little brother is behind this camera. And I'm talking, at that time, I was living at my mum's just before I bought my first house with Alicia. And I'd come home every night with grands of cash. I lie, bro. And he would be 10 years old, my little brother, waiting for me to come home. And I'd have to explain to him the lyrics that me and Romeo done on the stage that night. And I'd bring home my little, remember McDonald's breakfast at the time, the little muffins. And then I'd throw the money in the cash. I'd give him my little bro some money to go and buy some trainers, you know, go Junction, go Foot Locker. And it was just, I'm earning this money in one night. You know, you're doing 5 bookings in a night, bro. You're coming home with 5 grand in cash. My weakness was cars. At the time, if you remember, we had the TT phase. And then me, Romeo, and Neutrino, we all bought the X5s cash. I bought my X5 in Stevenage, 37 grand cash. I walked in the showroom with a cash in a bag. The guy said to me, I didn't know about forms and signing the forms and finance. I walked in there with a bag. I gave him 37 grand cash and I drove out of my car that day. And my weakness, like I said, was car. I've drove every car under the sun.
What cars?
Oh, them times was X5s and Touarags. Remember the Volkswagen Touareg Jeeps? I bought my Touareg the day the advert come out. I was like, I'm going to buy that. And I went and bought it. Literally went and bought it. And I think the Touareg at the time was about 42 grand at the time. So if you want to put it down to being young and irresponsible, because everyone goes through that young and irresponsible stage, was cars and women. That honest. Any young youth watching this, any young artist that's out there now, I know you're going through that right now. Don't deny it.
Speaking of youth, it's undeniable. You still look like the 21 second video, man.
Yeah, what's the secret, G?
Like, what are you doing out here, man? Because I probably look older than you, and I'm just like 28 and that. And
Mad.
how old are you?
I'm 36 post.
Wow.
36 years old.
And you look like you're in your 20s.
It's called looking after yourself. I still train like I'm a professional footballer. How can you lose that? I remember I've been training at a high level since 11 years old. My dad was a gladiator, as you know. My dad was, well, you know...
What gladiator?
He was Bullet in the first... He's, well, you know, come on, Vince.
Okay.
You know.
For those that don't.
Yeah, so that was my dad. You know, my dad was, you remember them days, Bullet, Shadow, Wolf. You know, I was that fortunate kid that I was living the dream that every kid wished. Every Saturday morning, I'm going gladiators with my dad. I'm in the dressing room with all the gladiators. You know, Wolf and Shadow, they're like uncles to me. Because they've known me since I was a little youth.
So you're saying every day you're doing kind of gladiator training plus football training?
My dad had me doing sit-ups at 11 years old. My dad used to take me to Bethnal Green, Yorkie's gym, right? And my dad would have me doing sit-ups at 11 years old. Like, I had a six-pack by the time I was 13, 14. You know what I mean?
So did
because my dad was always, you know, eat the right foods, don't abuse your body, do this. Do you know what I mean? And I've always incorporated that mentality into my life. So I still do that now. You know, like I go home, I have to have my sweet potato, my broccoli, I have to have my NutriBullet every day. I have to train. I have to do something because I look at your body like, it's like a car. If you don't look after it, it's gonna break down. You only get one heart. And what's kind of scaring me, in the last 3 to 4 years, I've lost a lot of friends at my age. Like getting cancer, you know? R.I.P. Marvin, legend from Battersea, he got a tumour. Junction legend, and died. Bro, he's 2 years older than me. I mean, people don't realise how important health is. It's all good being a rapper and portraying this fake life, you know, in the club. 10 bottles of Ciroc, you know, intoxicating your liver, bitches and hoes. Watch when that shit catch up with you, dog.
Speaking of taking care of your health, you was in a sticky situation in Iron Upper. You got stabbed. What happened there, man? What was that situation all about?
It was like 2000 Viz. Do you remember when 21 Seconds was about to blow?
Yeah.
When it was on White Label, them times? And we got into beef with some guys. It was me, Mega, Romeo, Dan the Man, 4 of us. Some guys from Manchester and Liverpool at the time. A big mass brawl kicked off. And I work quite simple. I'm not a bad boy, bro. Everyone knows me in Battersea as a fighter. You know what I mean? I fight. I come from a boxing family. You trouble one of my boys, I'll fight to the end. Regardless. You trouble Romeo, you trouble Mega, you trouble any of my boys regardless. Even if we don't get on, I'm warring to the end, bro. And you troubled one of my boys that night. So it's kill or be killed. It's that simple. And I was fighting, I remember scrapping with this guy, and I felt in the back of my neck. But I thought I got punched. And next year I turned around and I see my ear was on my shoulder. As you can see where my ear's stitched back on post. See it there?
Yeah.
Yeah? And this 27 stitches. I was fighting for my life for 4 hours. You get me? And the only reason why I survived, so I'm going to tell you about fitness and health. They had to send a specialist from Larnaca, which is half an hour away from Iron Upper, the airport. The specialist said to me, young man, do you play football? Do you do sport? I went, why? They put anaesthetic in my neck. He went, that's why you're alive. My respiratory system was so healthy that I could taking oxygen higher than the average man. Because it took me half an hour after I got stabbed to get to the hospital. No cabman wanted to take me. My clothes, I had on white Huaraches, white shorts, and a cream D&G top. My whole clothes was red with blood. Yeah? When you look at the situation, we all split up. Mega was over there fighting with one other you. You know, Romeo's fighting with one other you. And all I can say to you that night is that Romeo saved my life. That's why he's my best man. That's why he's my bona fide brother. That's why I'll do anything for him. When it's all well, man saying that they've got your back. I've got your back, bro. Man them. It's a load of bullshit. When the real shit kicks off and you're in a life and death situation, that's when you see who's got the fucking real minerals, bro. And that night, see that light-skinned sweet boy that you look at called Romeo? Mega? Them man that had the minerals that night. Let me tell you that now. And Romeo had serious minerals that night. Can't say what he done, but he done his job. Simple.
At the moment, so with all the experience that you've got, are there any young artists that you've decided... You said you don't take music seriously at the moment, it's a hobby. Are there any young artists that... Because I've seen you collaborate with quite a few people, that you kind of mentor or kind of give words of advice to at the moment?
I'm not going to say mentor.
That you want to see do well.
Sorry, I'm not going to say mentor. I'm not going to patronise the kids. But do I give advice to? Chip. Cashtastic. Sneakbo in the early days. Screw Fizzer.
What is your relationship with Chip? Because you seem quite close.
It's my adopted brother. It's my adopted nephew. I mean, I relate to Chip better than anyone because no matter what he does, people hate on him. I've never seen anything like it. He puts up a legendary freestyle. People just hate on this you. I'm probably the only person that's been as most hated as him. Do you understand why I relate to this kid? Do you understand? Chipmunk could feed the whole of Africa. People still hate on him. No matter what he does.
Why do you think that is? I'm not saying I agree with you, but why do you think that
in the early stages, he didn't help himself. Because Chipmunk has a persona like me. You either love him or you hate him. And people could sometimes confuse me for being arrogant by my confidence, because confidence can be confused with arrogance, you know? But that's my character. That's why I see a lot of me in Chip. So, because he was so confident and he was doing it from such an early age, from 16 years old, right? 16. This kid's 23, 24, whatever he is, and been in the game 10 years. I'm like, wow. So, he didn't help himself. But what people got to understand with someone like Chip, he's a young man. He's going to make a million mistakes. The person that he's becoming right now, that I know he's becoming, I'm happy with. Because he knows that I don't come from the negative school. I says, see all these things that these people are saying about you on the internet, all these threats, leave them to it, bro. I say to him, that's the price of success. That means you're doing something right. That's what I always say to him. And then after that, he orders a peri-peri chicken and we talk about football. It's that simple. But all I say to him is, keep working hard, don't entertain the negativity, and don't let these people suck you in. Because people in this industry will not be happy till they see you down in the dirt with them. So it's that simple.
Do you think anyone's achieved what So Solid has achieved so far in the game?
Hell no.
You don't think so? No. You sure?
No, Posty.
Why'd you say that? Elaborate.
Posty. There will only be one So Solid. Are you asking me to compare myself to any?
No, I'm saying, do you feel like anyone has gone close?
No. And you can, don't let me start. If you want me to turn around and say Tiny Temper is a pop act. That's what he is. His music is commercial pop. Yeah? But he's done extremely well, and I love Tiny. Remember with So Solid, we did not compensate our sound for the industry. Our sound was our sound. 21 Seconds, we was talking about all our lives as individuals. So some man might have carried straps. Some man might have been doing what he's doing. They played that on, they A-listed that on Radio 1. We didn't compensate our characters. This is us. This is what you're going to take. No, who are you asking?
So you think Tiny Temper compromises?
I would say compromise. No, that's wrong to say because I love Tiny. Tiny was always, from the wifey days, I think he already knew his direction. He was comfortable going in that direction. That's wrong to say. But that's his path. But our path, his path, other artists' path is different. There's only one So Solid, bro. What do you want me to say? Like, the only man that I can sit back and say that is on our level is Dizzy Rascal and Wiley. Of that era. Do you want me to say Skepta? Skepta's only just doing it now. Skepta's only getting the recognition he deserves now. Remember, Skepta's had it hard. People didn't want to really play the Skepta's records back in the day. Remember, he had dramas with the Bad Boy record when he brought out the Bad Boy and various records. Skepta is getting everything he deserves right now. That's why the Americans are taking note of him, because his work rate is exceptional. But can you compare Boy Better Know to So Solid? No way. It's a different entity, it's a different time, it's a different era. Simple as that. No one will ever sell the records like we sold organically. How can I compare myself to a download era? Really? I don't understand how people get gassed of views. Okay, if these kids are getting 1 million views or 500,000 views, why aren't they selling 1 million records? Answer me that, people.
Do you think anyone out there has got the potential to do what you did?
Skepta. That's the only person. Skepta. He's special. That boy is special. Like, I rate him. I respect him. Like, every time he drops something, that's the only time I log onto your channel. Real talk, like a you. Skepta's dropped something. What's he done now?
So what, are you saying
So
you're
not
not
even
really?
Chip?
Are you saying you're not?
Chip's are different. I can't put Chip in that era because Chip didn't really come from a rave scene. Skepta come from doing Eskimo dances, so did Wiley. Remember, we come from raves, Viz. You remember them days, Garage Delight, So Solid Sunday. Chip, to me, like, he was like the beginning of just the beginning of the internet era. He just started doing freestyles on Westwood with Wiley. Remember Wiley brought him Ice Kid? Remember them days? A lie?
Yeah, you're right.
Chip's not really a rave guy that you used to see in the rave, bunning down raves. Hell no. So I can't put Chip in that bracket. He's in his own total bracket. I call him the internet generation, the periphery, the border. But Skepta Wiley, Dizzy, mad respect for them. Mad respect for them. But you asking me, can I say anyone's gonna do what we done? Bro, come on. On a street level, who I love Giggs. Love him. He's from my ends too, you know what I mean? It's South. Love him, I love his wordplay. And he's the only man that I can relate to that's had the same dramas as us. Cancelled shows. How do I say this? The mafia that are legal always messing with him.
Yeah.
We know who they are.
That's one thing I give you. I know you sold a lot of records and you probably would have sold more if it wasn't for the cancelled shows.
There you go. Remember that tour we was going to make £1 million and they cancelled it. So if you don't let me start getting political, because I remember that was government work. We cannot let these black boys from South London make £1 million each. No way.
Oh, you were gonna make £1 million each?
Easy off the tour because we was gonna do.
Lost my voice.
We was gonna do the first tour that was announced. Then an arena tour. You know how it goes. You do the auditoriums. Then you do 2 auditorium tours. Then you do.
Wait. When you say you was gonna make £1 million each, how many of you was gonna make £1 million?
Well, the main members. You know the main members are post. Don't play dumb.
Who was the main members?
You know the main members are. You're talking Romeo, Harvey, Asher, Mega, Neutrino and Oxide as artists, Lisa Mafia. Anyone that was in at that time, Scats, whatever it was, because all the tours that we was doing was worth that money.
What is you guys?
So at least 10 people.
Yeah, easy. But we had to do it. You're not gonna make it from one show. I'm not gonna sit here and that's a fake image.
You'd have been touring
Vince,
for
you
months.
Know how it goes, for months.
Yeah.
But that's what it would have added up to. Do you understand what I'm saying? But they didn't even let us get out of our houses. I remember the day that we done it. We done the top of the Pops Awards. We was excited for our tour. I remember that's the first time I ever had an American come to me and say they loved, like Nelly Furtado was like, I love you guys. We was on cloud 9, just won all these awards. Then on a Monday, I was like, everything's going too well. Monday morning, your tour's cancelled. Then they put like this band sign, remember the band sign across the picture? And put it on every newspaper. And I was like, welcome to the mafia that we don't know about at full work. Because when the government want to shut you down and the police want to shut you down, you can't do nothing.
That's probably what was probably good about the internet age, because it's like you probably couldn't go on your TVs or your radio stations at the time, but at least
you
now,
were shut down.
Yeah, at least now if they shut you down, you could just upload again or.
I can ring you post.
Yeah, but you still can't make the money. Like what Skepta did
No.
Was,
but what I'm trying
was
to
good, innit? Like, you know, he did that what you call a legal show or whatever. Yeah. You guys could have done that if
Trust
the
me.
internet was as strong as it was, but they still wouldn't have made the money.
You know, like the show that he done, like you said.
No, but I'm sure it'd have been
genius.
a little bit easier for them to progress and carry on the momentum at the time with the internet age is what I'm trying to say.
Definitely.
But whereas they stone cold legal radio, legal TV, they had you back to like pirate.
That's it back in the corner.
Yeah.
And you know what was mad? Remember, try earning money and resources at that time when they're shutting you down. Because people are judging you by seeing you on TV. And remember them times it was CD UK, Smash Hits, remember them shows? Remember, I always laugh here when these new artists say they're promoting a record. I'm like, you don't even know what promotion is, lad. Promotion starts at 5 a.m. in the morning, right through to clubs.
Yeah, but it's different now.
But it's different.
The game's different now.
It's different,
but
yeah. Remember the work to promote a record? Lord, like, you'd be dead by the end of the day because 5 a.m. you might have to do, say for instance, I don't know, GMTV, CD UK,
I get you.
Smash Hits. That's what I'm talking about. Now you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then after that, you got to go and do Pop World. And then after Pop World, then you got like go to Wise Buddha and do all your interviews for you guys. The big national radio guys like Ace and Invisible, Westwoods, them times.
No, I think them lot was still on the Ill Out show.
No,
they hadn't made it yet. You know what I'm saying? You remember the
I
Ill Out
didn't say
show?
that
Dusty show.
Well, I didn't say that.
You don't remember?
That was a very iconic show. These guys have done a lot of iconic things. Posty, you're a hard man, you know. I love you, though.
No, he knows. You know when you don't even have to.
I don't even need
you
to
don't have to drop the. You know.
Them man, have been a big part of
you
my
don't have
career
to drop.
You know what I mean? You only started endorsing me when I was old. You know what I mean?
But we ain't achieved nothing. One little dusty website, blood. Come on, man. Modelled on World Star and that. Just because you copied Q, like, what's rating? What am I supposed to do, man? So where'd you go from here, bro? It's been a long road.
I don't go nowhere. I go exactly where I'm at. Like I said, you know, I'm enjoying it. I'm shooting a lot of big films at the moment. The clothing range is doing well. The Russell Brown, as you know, the Asian Lovren, the Liverpool player. Me and him are business partners, so that's going well. So we got, you know, I got Gerard wearing our clothes. We got Balotelli. You just look on the website at Russell Brown on Instagrams, and like I said, I'm a businessman, bro. I got my hand in many pies. You know, I'm not a man to sit here and glorify what I've done or talk about how healthy my bank is, but I'm good. I'm happy. You know, I live in a very lovely area. I live in the Queensborough, Windsor, so I don't really have much to complain about, bro. And like I said, I've got platinum albums sitting in my front room, so I don't really got complaints. So for me, it's just more like taking my businesses to a better level. I'm my biggest critic, Viz. I'm my biggest critic. The same how, you know, kind of you lot would be with your own branding. I'll never get complacent with what I've done. I've got to better myself. So that's where I am now, man. I can't complain.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for coming in and being so honest.
No problem.
Always appreciate it.
Steve, thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure. Never a chore.
NFTR, not for the radio. Make sure you subscribe now.